Can you hear me? John, raise your hand if you can hear me.
Can you guys hear us?
Agreed.
Thumbs up. Jack, can you hear us?
Yep.
All right, so we can go and get started. The council just met in executive session, so we already convened
Recording.
the council meeting. So we'll, we have 5 councilors present. Jack is online. He's in Vermont for the holiday, so I will be doing all votes via roll call. Just before we get started, I wanted to address one quick thing before the meeting convenes. So I imagine that most people on the call are aware of the news article that was published on Sunday regarding Chief LaJoy. That article raised a number of issues that are of a concern to us as well as the people of this town. However, we will not and we cannot comment upon confidential personnel matters or upon the personal affairs of any employee. This news article brought light to issues with which the interim town manager, Jennifer, felt should be investigated. So accordingly, Chief LaJoy has been placed on non-disciplinary paid administrative leave while that investigation occurs. We wish to stress that the leave is non-disciplinary. Once that investigation concludes, the town manager will assess any next steps. We as the council wish to assure you and the public that the work of the police department will continue while Chief LaJoy is on leave and that you can have confidence that the town's public safety needs will be met. Thank you. All right, we can jump right into approving our minutes from our last meeting. Does anyone have any edits or anything that needs to be adjusted on those?
Madam Chair, I move we accept the town council meeting minutes from November 23rd, 2021 as written.
Second.
Motion in a second. All those in favor say aye. John?
Yes.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jessica?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
And Mallory votes yes. Motion passes 5-0. Minutes from our last meeting are approved. Signing of the treasurer's warrants. We have a warrant dated November 18th, 2021 in the amount of $121,003.06.
Chair, I move we sign the treasurer's warrant in the amount of $121,000, $121,003.06. $1,000.
It's already been read off one time.
Yeah,
Try again.
it's my Marshwood education here. I'm slipping on this.
Jessica? Okay. We have a motion in a second. All those in favor, John?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Mallory votes yes. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to reports and presentations. We don't have anything tonight, right? And next, public comment. Does anyone on Zoom or anyone in the room have anything to comment on that's not on our agenda? If you could raise your hand if you're on Zoom. Okay. On town manager's report then.
Okay. The highway building update, the metal roof is now complete. We still have to put in the garage doors, but we're making really good progress and we're going to wrap that up soon. The blinking crosswalk sign on Route 4 has been installed by Goodwin Street. and it's up and running, so that didn't take long to get that finished. We also have the signs in the middle of the crosswalks that have finally arrived last week. They were actually ordered back in July, but we will keep them up as long as we can until there's snow in the forecast. And then we'll take them down for the winter and then obviously put them back out in the spring when we can. The highway is also stocking up on some winter parts that we usually typically need for the plow trucks. And we want to have them on the shelf due to the demand and supply issues. We're trying to be proactive on that. And the community center has had some leaks in the roof, which apparently have been leaking for quite some time, according to Sharon. And I have scheduled that to be all fixed after the Thanksgiving holiday. They're gonna have Serpro come back out and just ensure everything's cleaned up in the HVAC system. And we will make sure that the annual maintenance on those HVAC systems are taken care of from the ductworks. Piece of good news with the heating system at the library is still running great. We are super excited about that. We'll be having some training next Tuesday for the new director, Lee, at the library, and for Jay and myself, so that we can all know how to run the new controls for the system. We are still on track for finalizing the audit. Peter Hall, our auditor, should be here to do a presentation on our next meeting, Tuesday, the 14th of December. The police department has put together a vaccine clinic on Monday, the 29th at the fire station from 10 to 1, which is open to all staff and the general public for COVID shots, first shot, second shot, and any boosters. The Christmas parade will be on November 27th, starting at 3 o'clock, starting at Academy Street, going down Main Street into Rollinsford, New Hampshire, via Front Street and South Street, and we'll disperse at the American Legion if anyone wants to watch that.
Hey, Jen, sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
The date and the time for the COVID clinic, the vaccine clinic?
That is Monday, November 29th
Okay,
at the fire station from 10 to 1.
okay, thank you.
Yep. And then we also have the Home for the Holidays event that will be here at the town hall Friday, December 3rd, starting at 5 until 8 p.m. And the tree lighting will be at 5:30. And lastly, I just wanted to wish everyone a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on, unfinished business. Number 1, the comprehensive plan RFP. So in our supporting documents, we have, I think, a final draft of our request for proposals to distribute for our, for our intended 2022 comprehensive plan review and update. We reviewed this at our last meeting, and I think it would be appropriate for us to have a motion and a vote to finalize and sign this so we can get it out and get it distributed. A couple of changes that I did add to this after we met last is I basically just, my intention was to extend to the timeline, but the version I'm seeing here still says December 1st.
I had circled that as well. Just to
Okay,
make sure
yeah.
that-
I had suggested via email that we update the due date to be like January 1st, January 3rd, just acknowledging the holidays and stuff. I think that would be appropriate. Did any of the council have any concerns with like a month's timeline or so to turn that around?
No, because it's gonna be hard to get someone
Yeah.
by the 1st with the holidays.
Okay. All right, so then a motion would be in order to, I guess we don't necessarily need to sign this, but we just want to make sure we're all in agreement on distributing this request for proposal. So a motion would be in order to distribute this with an anticipated due or return date of, we'll say January 3rd, so I think that's a Monday. January 3rd.
The 3rd, Christmas is on what, Saturday? Saturday? So that means New Year's is on Saturday as well. So that's really the Monday
Maybe
after
January.
the long weekend. Do we want to push that out like to Wednesday?
Sure. We could even push it to the next week, January 10th,
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, move it to the next Monday, the 10th.
So,
It's easier.
Okay.
Jack, you want to make that motion?
Yes. I move to advertise the request for proposals for Town of South Berwick 2022 Comprehensive Plan Review and Update as presented this evening as amended.
We have a motion in the second. All those in favor, say aye. John,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Jessica,
Aye.
Aye.
Mallory votes yes. Motion passes 5-0. For the actual advertising and distribution of this, I know Jack, you had talked about this, a couple of different places to post. Jen, do the necessary people have what they need?
I
You
don't.
speak-
know. I think
Are you speaking to Jennifer or me?
Both
Okay,
of you.
okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Jack, could you send me a list of the people that you had listed?
Yeah, it's really a clearinghouse, from what I understand, as far as Northern New England goes. The Maine Association of Planners uses the Northern New England chapter of the American Planning Association. It's a real long acronym, but that's the venue for posting of RFPs. And if you go on, what is it? Let's see, NNEC, Northern New England chapter of APA, American Planning Association. Get on their website and clicking through there's a couple of clicks will get you to RFPs for posting. And that would cover Northern New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And I think that should do it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments on the comp plan RFP? Right, moving on, unfinished business number 2, medical marijuana caregiver licensing. I don't think we have a ton to discuss this evening, other than just a reminder to everybody that we do have a workshop scheduled for next Tuesday, November 30th at 6:30. It's a joint workshop with the planning board and the town council to review the draft ordinance that Jack had put together. That has since been posted to the website. It's under our news section for anyone who is looking to review that. The only thing I will ask is it possible to have in that news section on the website where we're kind of posting the draft to state that there's a workshop scheduled like on that date.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think other than that, I didn't have anything in mind on this topic. Did anyone have anything to add?
The only thing I have to add on that is that the main thing is to get people to attend and so that if people feel a need to come in via Zoom, then it's better to have them than to not have them. So I would extend that as well.
And if anyone from the public does have any comments or feedback on the draft ordinance, they're welcome to submit that to us via email between now and then.
Right, because the public won't have an opportunity to comment during the workshop.
All right, then we can move on to our final point of business, action on appointing to the planning board.
Madam Chair, I move that we appoint Mr. Greg Zinser to the planning board for a term that would expire on June 30th, 2022. To complete the term vacated by Mr. Minahan to my right.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. John,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Jessica,
Aye.
Jack.
aye.
Mallory votes yes. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
We have a meeting next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wrote it down.
All right. Wow. We're now at council member comments. Jack, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I'd like to offer congratulations to the Marshwood Hawks for their victory this past weekend. I think it's just another wonderful thing in terms of continuing the tradition that we've enjoyed for many years in town here in Elliott as well. We share. And other than that, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Jessica, am I right?
I just wanted to say thank you to Greg for raising his hand to be on the planning board. I enjoyed speaking with him this evening and the executive session beforehand. I think that it's great when we see talent within the community raise their hands and help us all out. I also wanted to congratulate the fall athletes. It's been a heck of a season coming back. Kudos to both the soccer and football teams. Also wanted to say thank you to Mike at the transfer station for all of his work and that we wish him well. And I too am looking forward to the Wallingford Southborough Parade on Saturday. It starts at 3 on Academy Street. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I wrote down what I was going to say. Just with a lot of the stuff that I've been with the planning board and getting on board with town council, I've had a lot of different conversations. And one of the things that I've ended up having conversations about has been about the medical marijuana retail store on the Dunklett Road. People have been bringing up to me in regards to how it's grandfathered in. I'm doing more research because people are asking questions and of course diving in to past meetings and looking at minutes. And I understand that it's grandfathered in. One thing that I'm missing is where the documentation is that actually shows that the town has acknowledged it as a current store before that December 2018 time. And I was hoping to request that documentation so that for clarity and transparency to the community, just because a lot of things have this has been a topic of discussion a lot. So I wasn't sure if this is the right time, but I figured this is the time where I had the microphone to ask. So.
Madam Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes.
Yeah. As far as the nomenclature, medical marijuana store, it's been referenced that way by a citizen. And it's also been referenced in a document that I haven't seen that was a representative of the Office of Marijuana Policy that referenced it that way. Beyond that, I'm not seeing or hearing of any correspondence or reports emanating from the town that describe it that way. To me, it's always been a medical marijuana registered caregiver. And that's I think part of the problem is how people describe it. I understand citizens that make comments are looking to have it go one way. But as far as I can understand is that from our point of view as a town, it's always been medical marijuana registered caregiver operation. And that we're trying to, by working on the medical marijuana registered caregiver licensing, try and help differentiate between what is a legal store in the zone for medical marijuana caregiver stores, and then perhaps create some guidelines or regulations that would prevent other caregivers and registered caregivers and having their business morph into something that is not part of our local ordinances. I don't know if that helps you, Jeff, but that's my background on it, having looked at it for a couple of years now.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I think, Keegan, I think, had requested something similar a while back. And I feel like we got what we have as far as that documentation goes. And I think I agree with Jack, we're actively moving on this medical marijuana caregiver licensing performance standards issue. We have the workshop next week to try to do what we can to, one, prevent something like that in the future and maybe put some parameters around that operation.
Yeah, but to be clear, the statement has been made that in the town of Southborough, it's grandfathered in, and I'm seeking that documentation for that group.
Well, Jeff, again, Madam Chair, if I could speak again, even the nomenclature about grandfathering, I mean, this is more of a term of art, and the correct terminology would be a an existing non-conforming use or an existing non-conforming structure. These are, those are the two types of nonconformity that are allowed to go on if the ordinance changes. And so I think we need to know what side of that fence is, and that perhaps is maybe Jennifer or Tim, when he comes on board, can help clarify some of those questions, because it's the code enforcement officer that needs to make those calls. Interpreting, he's the only one that can interpret the ordinance by law.
Correct, and that's why I'm asking if there's documentation to do that, because as you say quite often, Jack, words do matter, correct? So that is what we're hearing is the grandfather part, so that's why I'm just asking about that.
Well,
Is it
there is some clarity.
able to see any documentation, or am I asking for a unicorn, something that doesn't exist, you know?
So we know Nature's Miracle was registered with the state of Maine in 2017.
Right.
Anybody can go online, you can put in the business name to the state of Maine registry, and you can find out Nature's Miracle, as far as the business, was done in 2017.
Mhm.
What the code enforcement officer has got us is the building sketches and the rest. The document that we've seen that was redacted in some emails we got, that an OPM or OMP, however, Office of Marijuana Policy, had gone out, found a couple of small violations, they were fixed. So we're back into, is he a store or is he doing what a medical caregiver can do and selling from his place?
I think
And
that's
it's,
what-
and it comes down to, back to the code enforcement officer. We do legislative, the code enforcement does enforcement. If you want to workshop with the code enforcement officer, I don't know where we're gonna go with it, because no one's been able to come up with exactly what you're looking for.
Okay, which is.
I got it.
There it is.
I know what everybody wants.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they're gonna get it, because no one can produce it.
It's been in business since 2017. There was no laws that even came out until 2018,
When we don't have an ordinance.
and we didn't have an ordinance.
Yeah.
So at the time when it was created, there was nothing wrong. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
I think on this, like,
Mhm.
I recognize that we've brought this up numerous times, that it's an issue going forward, and I feel like we need to be more forward-looking and what can we do and put in place to remedy the situation as much as possible, to put some rules around it to prevent it from happening in the future. We can dwell on past conversations all day long. I think we are actively moving in the right direction on this, and, you know, we're meeting next week. I think we have a really good draft ordinance in place. And, you know, certainly more feedback and stuff to come in from the public, but I would encourage us to just continue moving forward versus continually dwelling on the past. Anything else, Jeff?
I agree. I think that moving forward, I think that that's a good idea. I also think that from where we sit as a board, it's perceived that our, with the town manager, not necessarily Jen, but with working and creating this new relationship with Tim, that that it's important to make sure that we're understanding what is happening. And me personally, I'm not satisfied. I know past is past, not pointing fingers, but me personally, I don't find it acceptable to be able to say, there's nothing there, so we just gotta live with it. That being said, I'm one of five, so I'm just voicing what my concerns are. But that's all I. Thank you.
John, did you go yet?
No, I was kind of gonna be a hard act to follow, but I want to thank Jeff for picking up the tree out front and building the box fort. It's gonna be great to light a tree there on December 3rd. I look forward to that. Follow up with Jack. Congratulations to Marshwood football. That's 5. They overcame a lot, and it shows what teamwork and perseverance can do. Soccer had a fantastic year also this year, bringing home states. So Marshwood's right back to the glory days of old, which is very nice to see around here. Brings a lot to the community. And wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I want to point out that, much like football, the theater program was back this year. I should have mentioned this at our last meeting, but the last 2 weekends, the Marshwood District Musical was back. We didn't have it last year, and it was so nice to have that come back together. And I think, you know, there were a lot of kind of rules and lots of challenges with putting on that performance, but they had a new choir director. All of the kids had to wear masks in addition to microphones, and they really just did a really awesome job. And also, my daughter was a lead, so, you know, I'll just toot her horn for her, but it was really cool to have that whole program come back. So I hope anyone was able to see it, enjoy it. And it's nice to have the whole council here, Jackson and on Zoom, but look forward to working with you guys going forward, and love Tim on board here pretty soon.
Yes.
Which will be awesome too, so. Thank you all. That's all I had. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Mallory, I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Hands up, all in favor? All right, we are adjourned at 6:54.
You almost have the quickest one.
I think that's a record.
Yeah,
Ah,
thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, Jack.
It's close. I think our
Happy
record is.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Night.